Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. If you clicked on this video then, you're probably somebody that's struggling with shanking your chip shots. I see this all the time at the moment. There's so many people that struggle with their short games. With an iron, absolutely fine, never hit a shank. But the moment they get a wedge in their hand around the green, they find they start shanking it. And I've done some digging on this and I think I've found the root cause as to what's causing so many of you to struggle with your wedge play around the green. Let's get straight into the video. Let's help you out, hit better chip shots and get rid of that shank for good. So the coat's come off, which means it's serious. It's cold here today in Yorkshire, so I've got a couple of layers on and a hoodie. But let's get into this. So, struggling with shanking a wedge. If we look at how wedge play has been taught for years, and less so now, one of the things you'd always see is that the feet would be aiming left. So everyone was told to open their stance, open their hips, and you'd have a club face that's slightly open. So adding loft, adding some bounce to that golf club. And what you were sort of taught then is to swing down toward the target like that for a chip shot. But, and this is a big but, what a lot of people then get in the habit of doing is because they don't trust the fact that the club face is aiming at the target and that's where the ball's going to start and go, what they do is they feel like they have to swing out towards the target. So they start feeling like they have to push the ball towards the target. So what that then looks like, if I was going towards the red flag, is I have my stance open, my face is aiming now, club face aiming at the target, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to push out towards the target. And you can see very quickly then I hit that shank shot, because essentially what's happening is you have the centre mass of the golf club. I'm swinging out to the right, so the centre is moving further away from my body, which is starting to then introduce the hosel into that impact area. So let's just show that once more. So when I'm pushing away, feel like I want to push the ball out towards the target because it's over there. What happens is my hands get further away from my body. You can see now presenting the hosel in behind the golf ball. So my feet are aiming left as taught in that traditional method. I've got my hips open, club face aiming at the target. I'm going to feel like I'm going to push the ball out. So let's chat then about a really nice simple fix and a drill we're going to do to start with. So the first thing is forget about having the feet open. Let's get rid of that completely. Let's make the feet square. It's going to be easier if we make them square. When you hit your irons and you don't shank it, your feet are square. So let's lose it. It's not a wedge causing us to shank it. It's purely then the aim. So I want the feet to be nice and square to the target. I'm going to have the club face square to the target as well. I'm not going to mess around with that. And what we're going to do when we're hitting the shot here is we're going to have the club, the handle, on top of the club head. I no longer want to see the hands in front. We're going to have it on top for this. So that's going to help us maintain the loft. Nice narrow stance, square and square. And what this is going to mean now is I don't need to swing away anymore to feel like I'm pushing the ball out. Actually, I'm able to swing down the target and hit the ball at the target. Now you'll notice how close I have set up to that tee there. Now it's quite a tall tee. And the reason why I've done this, when I have the club behind the ball, if I was to hit that tee at all, you can see I shank it. So my job in this drill is really, really simple. I've got to hit the ball, avoiding the tee, and trying to aim at the red flag. Just keeping it really easy. So, square stance, handle on top of the club head. I'm now going to try and avoid that tee, and I'm going to swing towards the target. Club's already aiming there. And as you can see, I didn't shank it because I'm keeping the centre of the golf club now in the same position. I'm not letting it get further away. I'm keeping it nice and close to me. If you struggle with that, let's say you do that 3 or 4 times and you hit the tee, what I would love to see you do is let's move even closer. Let's set up now behind the tee. I'd like you to make some swings where you then avoid the tee on the inside. So that's going to show to me that you can move the centre mass of the golf club, the sweet spot, closer towards you. Then, if you're feeling really fancy, what we're going to do now is we're going to set up with the hosel of the club on the golf ball. And we're going to try and chip that ball now, but chip it out the centre. And you can see then how what I'm doing is I'm doing an anti-shank move. One of the worst things somebody does when they have a shank is they start addressing the ball out the toe, because all you're encouraging now is the same move. You're encouraging the centre of the golf club to move further away. means at some point you're just going to start shanking it again. So what we would like to do, start setting up more towards a hosel, start feeling like we're moving the centre of the club closer to the body. It's the opposite to a shank. You're going to find you're going to get a few more toe strikes rather than the shank. A lot less destructive than obviously that shank shot will be. Certainly, you know, as you start getting used to it, those toe strikes will stop. You'll start to adjust nicely with that. Maybe it's something in the past that you've been taught or read that's actually creating that issue. Those hands getting further away, you wanting to push out towards the target from those feet being in a slightly open stance and then club face being a little bit open as well. So just by squaring up, you might find to begin with it's a little bit difficult to get the strike, but actually as you get the body rotating, you'll find you'll start to strike the ball quite nicely. But one of the key things there is starting to learn not to let the hands get further away, not letting the centre of the golf club push away from the golf ball. If we can allow it to stay nice and close to the body, what you're going to find then is you're starting to get a more consistent strike, losing that shank for good. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Always nice to try and keep it as nice and simple as possible. Thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you very soon.